Penny stocks versus cryptocurrency. So in today's video, I'm going to compare the two and show you exactly which investment vehicle I think is going to be the best investment vehicle for future investors who not only want to see amazing, crazy double, triple digit gains, but who also want to know that their investment is going to be as protected as possible. Now, I will say before we get into it, this is not investment advice that I'm giving you. Do your own research when you invest in any sort of stock, cryptocurrency, or any sort of investment vehicle. This is just an educational video to demonstrate some of the things that I think are important for investors when looking to do their own research when comparing penny stocks and cryptocurrencies. Now first, let's start with penny stocks. Now, penny stocks have been around for decades already, and we've all seen the Wolf of Wall Street, and we know he's already made millions of dollars, albeit a little bit of shady business was going on during that whole fiasco. Nonetheless, penny stocks have been around and they have been known to build wealth on special occasions. Now, is it the norm for penny stocks to make people rich? No, it's not the norm. In fact, it's more likely that you'll lose money investing in penny stocks. Now, one of the things I think that make penny stocks notorious for pump and dump schemes and lies and potential scams is the fact that there's not a whole lot of transparency going on with penny stocks. Now, I know you can say the same thing with cryptocurrency, and we are going to get into some of that once we go over some of the cryptocurrency features, but with penny stocks, you really don't know what's going on in the back end, what deals are being made, what trades are already being looked at behind the scenes. And usually a lot of these companies, they're not listed on NASDAQ simply because they don't have their books in order or they don't meet certain criteria that sort of regulation looks for when they're going to list on the NASDAQ. So the thing that I really don't like about penny stocks is the lack of transparency. Now, another thing about penny stocks is that they don't really usually have a strong social media presence. Now, in today's age, if you're going to be a successful anything, you do need to have some sort of a social media presence. And I think this makes penny stocks a weaker contender when compared to cryptocurrency, because if you've been involved in the cryptocurrency space for any amount of time, you'll know that usually there's a Telegram, and most definitely there's always going to be a Twitter where they're constantly releasing updates on their business. Now, penny stocks, you can't tell me that a company has a Twitter account, a Telegram account, and is giving you constant updates as to what's going on. Maybe they'll release a press release or maybe send out an email to investors, but by that point, making an investment decision is probably not going to be as clear, because who knows what sort of deals were already made in the background before that initial email or newsletter went out to their investors. And so not being in the know in the modern times, I think really sets penny stocks in the past, almost like a prehistoric entity, because they need a social media presence, and most penny stocks do not have a strong social media presence, where new investors, up and coming investors, those are the platforms they're simply using. And so if you're not on that platform, you're not going to get a whole lot of visibility for your market if you're selling penny stocks, because you're just selling to an antiquated system of old school investors, and you really need to be marketing to new school investors. And I think that gives penny stocks a sort of a weaker edge against cryptocurrency. Now, penny stocks also have lower trading volumes compared to any other stock that's listed on the NASDAQ. Now, the same could be said about cryptocurrency, but penny stocks, again, notoriously have low trading volumes, and it's really hard to get liquidation on penny stocks unless you have a certain brokerage that specializes in penny stocks, but not all brokerages specialize in all penny stocks. So getting liquidity, getting in and out of an asset is not easy at all when you're dealing with penny stocks, and I think this also gives it a less of an edge when you compare it to cryptocurrency. So since penny stocks are not necessarily a global entity, the business may be global, but the shares themselves cannot be traded globally, makes it really difficult for it to get mass adoption and see explosive gains unless it does have that global competitive advantage. Lastly, the volatility for penny stocks is not quite as predictable as it is with cryptocurrency. Now, with penny stocks, usually what makes a penny stock rise exponentially is a piece of news that goes viral, or a piece of news made by someone with a strong media presence, and that sort of news is what catapults a certain penny stock. Now, that can be few and far in between, but it's highly dependent on small groups of individuals or entities making public news, and only certain groups hear about this news beforehand beforehand and are able to get into these penny stocks and sort of get in and out at a much lower price. So by the time it goes parabolic, people don't know what's really going on at that point unless they follow that company extremely closely, follow every single newsletter, and are in the know to that degree. They might just catch the beginning of a bull cycle, but the bull cycle for penny stocks is few and far between, and it's really hard to predict because there's low trading volume and it's highly dependent on circumstantial news or new sorts of things that are being added. But it's not the norm is what I'm trying to say. And because it's not the norm, because it's hard to gather historical data to sort of predict highs and lows and all of these sorts of things that are important for trading, this makes it very hard to scale and protect your money when you're looking for not only massive gains, but when you're looking to keep your investment intact and not lose money. Now, time for cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency, as you know, has a lot of similarities and some of the same disadvantages that penny stocks have, but in my opinion, it has more advantages that outweigh the similar disadvantages that it has compared to penny stocks that make it a much more viable solution to long-term investors when they're looking to place bets to keep their investments exponentially growing and safeguard their assets. Now, by no stretch of the imagination am I here saying that cryptocurrency is not without its scams, its lies, its back deal trading, all sorts of things, lack of regulation. It has all of those things, but it does have a lot of advantages that I think merit the comparison of this specific video. Now, cryptocurrency does have the benefit of being also listed on decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges. So with it having those two vehicles of trade volume, it has more potential to consistently gain value simply because it's listed on multiple entities, and usually a lot of these centralized exchanges have a ton, if not millions of buyers. And if you have a cryptocurrency that's listed on one of the top tier exchanges, then you're pretty much looking at millions of people potentially investing in this asset at any given moment. And it's not necessarily dependent on news so heavily. It can do a lot more with trading volume and price action, and so there's a whole lot more room for flexibility in gains for cryptocurrency than with penny stocks, simply because there's just more eyeballs on cryptocurrency, especially if it's listed on a centralized exchange. Now, one thing that I think is absolutely fascinating about cryptocurrency is that it's traded globally. Now, because the fact that cryptocurrency is globally traded and it's decentralized, it's easier for it to see massive gains because it's not segmented to a specific country. It's actually being adopted globally. So if you just picture a global stock market, how insane would that be, right? There's no limit to how high a specific investment goes because it's not limited to a single country. It's a global entity. And what also makes that powerful is that it's 24/7, right? There's no other time in history that we've had tradable shares that you can trade 24/7. The NASDAQ, it's Monday through Friday, has certain hours. You have to get in, you have to get out. There's a lot of volatility at the beginning and at the end of the week. However, with cryptocurrency, it's a whole nother beast in and of itself. It's 24/7 and it's a global stock exchange, if you can think about it in that regard. And so because it's a globalized entity, you can see potential 100,000x for specific cryptocurrency, all within a reasonable amount of time, simply because there's just millions upon millions of people who have access to cryptocurrency, and being able to access global users, I think just gives cryptocurrency a strong competitive edge compared to penny stocks because it has more potential to go completely parabolic at any given moment. Now, really strong cryptocurrency protocols have a strong social media presence. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because new school investors are using Twitter, Telegram, they're using these social media platforms. And usually cryptocurrency projects are really good at promoting their news, events, partnerships, everything on Twitter and on Telegram. And they're usually connecting with their audience really strongly on Telegram especially, but you're always updated with partnerships and things that the protocol is constantly doing to improve itself. And to me, that gives it way more transparency when compared to penny stocks, simply because the really good protocols are constantly putting out information that is beneficial to their investors, beneficial to their users, and they're trying to keep their users in the limelight, and they're really engaging with their users, especially in Telegram, where you can easily just ask a question. I really doubt that you can go to a penny stock and email the CEO or email one of the heads of the company and say, hey, look, I have a few questions. Can you give it back to me? You're probably looking at either never getting responded to or for sure months out. And with cryptocurrency, it's a completely different dynamic that's going on there. They really know how to build a strong user base and keep their users, keep their investors in the know at all times. In addition to all of that, you can also read the white paper. Now, I highly recommend that before you look at any sort of cryptocurrency to invest in, you read the white paper, at least glance at it so you can get a sort of a synopsis as to what's going on. Because if you look at the white paper, that just adds to more transparency. You're able to see everything about the protocol, the roadmap of the protocol, who their investors are, and you can see all of the information you need to know exactly how the protocol works, who's backing the protocol, and what the protocol plans to do now and in the future to constantly stay ahead of other protocols. So to me, the white paper just adds a whole nother layer of transparency to cryptocurrency and gives cryptocurrency another edge when compared to penny stocks. Now, what's really fascinating is that with cryptocurrency, you can get really amazing protocols for penny stock prices, right? A lot of these really strong protocols, especially the protocols in the top 50 altcoins and cryptocurrency, usually have really strong market caps, right? We're talking in the millions and billions of dollars. So for example, I'm looking at a cryptocurrency right now, listed number 4. It's called Cardano ADA, and it's listed at $2.06 as of right now. But the market cap is $65 billion, and you're getting it for $2 compared to a penny stock investment for $2. You're probably looking at a market cap closer to 10 million, if that, if it's $2. So you can find some crazy low prices on some really high market cap protocols, which is unheard of compared to penny stocks. If a penny stock had $1 billion market cap, more than likely it's probably listed on the NASDAQ, right? You don't see these types of market caps in the penny stock market, which is why I think the demand for cryptocurrency is only going to continue to grow. You don't have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to be successful when you're investing in cryptocurrency. You can buy $2, $1, 50-cent cryptocurrencies that are already in the tens of millions in their market cap. And I think this is just a whole nother world of investing that's going to be continually progressing now and into the future. And this is just something that penny stocks haven't even been able to touch, not even close to these types of market caps. And so I think this gives cryptocurrency a no contest when you're comparing to penny stocks, because simply it just has more advantages when you're looking for long-term potential that also has massive potential to gain exponentially. Now, I will say they are both very volatile. Penny stocks are volatile, cryptocurrency is volatile. They both have the pros and cons in volatility, but they are both highly volatile assets. So you do need to be aware of that before you do any sort of research and before you invest in anything. Just know ahead of time that they are both volatile. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my penny stocks versus cryptocurrency, and please do your own research when you're investing in any sort of asset. This was not a financial advice video. This was simply an educational video on some of the things that I think are important when comparing penny stocks and cryptocurrency. Now, if you want the latest cryptocurrency news and biggest events that are happening in the cryptocurrency space, please subscribe to this channel and turn on your alert notifications. That way, as I release more videos like this, you'll get notified. And if you found this video resourceful, it would mean the world to me if you give it a thumbs up. Any questions at all, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And please, I would love to know what you think of penny stocks, what the pros and cons are, and cryptocurrency, what you think the pros and cons are in the comments. Let's get a conversation going and see and compare on a broader scale of what you guys think the benefits of each investment vehicle asset is. I would love to hear your thoughts. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next video.